Good morning and доброго ранку. Пане перший віце-прем'єр-міністр клубів, Your Excellency, friend, Ambassador Roman Vasyuk, members of the Ukrainian government, Deputy Minister Hogan, members of the Ukrainian Parliament and members of the Canadian Parliament, distinguished representatives of the wonderful business community, dear friends. In the spirit of the compliments to this wonderful city of Toronto, to the Ukrainian part of the audience, I'll just say that, yes, it's Toronto, the hometown of Michael Schur and Telebachnia Toronto. And I was strongly encouraged by the organizers not to pretend that I understand the economy and business better than the audience here in this room. And I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of numbers of wonderful PowerPoint presentations. I'll just share what I feel about this moment in the lives of our two countries. 125 years ago, Ivan Pilipiv and Vasil Yelenyak from the village of Nebyliv next to Ivano-Frankivsk traveled here to fall in love with this land, to start the first Ukrainian-Canadian settlement in Alberta. If they live today, I believe we could see them in this room, because just like them, the people in this hall are driven by courage, by a love for freedom, by persistence, and by the spirit of entrepreneurship. Moreover, I would not be surprised to see some of people like them actually traveling back across the ocean to seek extraordinary opportunities in Ukraine. I believe that Ukraine now has become the true eastern frontier of the free world. To be the eastern frontier means a lot of risk management. It means a lot of visionary insight, but most of all, eastern frontier of the free world means a lot of opportunities and lifetime chances which come once in a century. This event is to explore such opportunities. The forum is a joint effort by both the Canadian and the Ukrainian governments to boost trade and business cooperation between the countries. And we do hope that the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement will be a great chance for businesses across the ocean to rediscover opportunities in two countries. $351 million of US dollars of trade and services between the two nations. I believe it's an embarrassingly low number. I think this is the time when we need to change this. It's time to live up to the potential that our two economies have. And I encourage each of us get the most out of this very special day. To our Canadian friends, we feel this is the time to give a thoughtful look at Ukraine. And to those of you who have tried and it did not work well, please give it a second try, because the country has really changed. 80% of Ukrainians who are in favor of full EU membership, more than 60% of Ukrainians who see Ukraine as a NATO member. It's a different country. It's a country which is doing an irreversible shift and irreversible change to the West. To our Ukrainian guests, you representatives of the business community, you are the true driving force of Ukrainian changes, because you take as your own every mistake of our country and of our government, and you take as your own every success of our country, because you were ready to sacrifice your businesses during the Revolution of Dignity, and because you donate so much to help the Ukrainian army to defend the country. Finally, because you have a talent to dream and you have persistence to succeed. As a beginner diplomat, I can say that you are the best ambassadors of Ukraine abroad, so I strongly encourage you to tell how we modernize the country, to tell how grateful we are to Canada for support, to tell how innovations from Ukraine become huge world-class success stories, and also tell the truth about the challenges that we face in Ukraine, about challenges of corruption and fragile institutions, but also how we are changing the situation. Explain the great quote by the Nobel Prize winner Svetlana Alexievich, who said that it proved to be more difficult to fight, to kill. It was easier to kill the big dragon than to chase small rats. Finally, I will conclude with a metaphor. Last night, we had a small brainstorming session with our Minister of Agriculture, Taras Kutui, and with other members of the Ukrainian government, it was a brainstorming, what's the best way to present Ukraine? And I was thinking about the Chinese bamboo. In its first 4 years of life, you cannot tell the difference between bamboo and grass, 5 centimeters above the ground. But in its 5th year, it grows 20 meters high. I strongly believe this is something about Ukraine, which is now finishing its first 5 centimeters, and then is going to explode up. There are no other nations in the world which have a similar bond between the nations like us, Ukraine and Canada. I think it's time to turn this bond into a strong, pragmatic, enriching partnership for generations to come. Glory to Canada, Slava Ukraini!